a big round of applause to Anne Paphitis!
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess locked away in a tall tower. She gazed out at the rolling hills below, the dark forest beyond, and ached for the world outside her window. I remember, as a child, the jolt of excitement those words, once upon a time, gave me. The feeling that the ordinary world was about to fall away and that something enchanted, something thrilling, something full of possibility was about to begin. Once upon a time is not just how fairy tales began. For many of us, it's how we began too. Once upon a time, I was brave. Once upon a time, I had dreams. Once upon a time, I believed I could do anything. And if that sounds familiar, that's because fairy tales were not just stories we heard. They became the stories we strove for. We chased the happily ever after. Because that's how fairy tales end. The handsome prince arrives, slays the dragon, they ride off into the sunset, and they lived happily ever after. The wedding, the family, the job, the stability, the crown, and then... Fairy tales never tell you that part. What happens when the kids grow up? When the relationship changes or ends? When the career that once fitted you perfectly no longer fits? When those quests which gave your life purpose gradually fall away? Fairy tales end with, and they lived happily ever after. Full stop, end of story. No sequel. So you just go with the story until one day you realize you have put down the crown and landed right back in a tower. Not the wicked witch kind, the practical kind, built of logical bricks, responsible walls, very convincing architecture. You went through so much. You worked so hard to build it, to get here. And now you are exactly where you expected to be. Except you didn't expect this. A life where you've swapped the glass slippers for sensible shoes. Traded your tiara for reading glasses. Replaced the kiss of true love with someone yelling, "Have you put the bins out?" And that doesn't mean your life is bad. In fact, your life is good, solid, safe, sensible. And yet, that spark you once had, that sense of aliveness, the version of you who used to be bold, brave, convinced anything was possible. What happened to that you? We've seen the studies, the science predicting lifespans extending to 80, 90, and beyond. And it's not only possible, we actively pursue that outcome. We do everything we can to stretch life out for as long as possible, even though none of us are guaranteed the time that science predicts. So yes, living to a ripe old age would be pretty great if we weren't also accepting a life that feels a little narrower, a little flatter, a little smaller than the one we once dreamed of. So the question is not just how long will I live, but how alive will I be while I'm here? And I get it. I really do. It is easier to cling to the familiar, to the hard-won practicalities of adult life, to remain where you are, never leave your cozy, well-organized tower, not get distracted by childish dreams and fairy tale possibilities, to never cross the line. Let me show you what I mean. Right here, there is a line. You can't see it, but you can feel it. On this side is where you are. On that side, the things you dreamed of doing, the things you imagined were possible, the things you didn't even conceive you could possibly do. And this line is the same as the walls of your tower. Invisible walls, invisible lines. And yet, most people never cross it. And this line, you are the one who drew it. At some point in your life, you decided to write the end, then drew a line below that, put down the pen, and closed the book. And those precious blank pages in your book of life, whether 5, 10, 50, will stay empty, while all the possibilities still left in life roll away into the forest below your window. You gave up the pursuit of happily ever after and wrote yourself back into a tower. And this time, no one is coming to rescue you. No handsome prince, no magical moment when someone arrives and says, here is your next chapter, the version of you who feels alive again. No one is coming. Because this part of the story was never meant to be written by someone else. You are the one holding the pen and holding the key. You can change the story or write an entirely new one. Perhaps one that fulfills a lifelong dream. Like Dale and Heather, who sold everything to travel Africa in a camper van. Or maybe you change paths to something you never even imagined was for you. That's what Neil did, giving up a career in law enforcement to become a full-time artist at 48. Or perhaps you just add in a little something on the side that fills you with joy. Like Liam, writing, directing, and acting in films and plays. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a small, brave, literal jump, like my dad, skydiving at 80. There's no one-size-fits-all magical solution. There's no guarantees. But it is about choosing to follow the thread of a long-forgotten interest, to say yes when once you would have said no, to try something small that feels like you, to step just slightly beyond the lines you thought were fixed. Whether quietly or boldly, you have to decide, do you remain in the tower because it is familiar, safe, sensible? Or do you choose to create, to lead yourself, to do the one thing no fairy tale ever taught you to do, to pick up the pen, write your own next chapter, to pick up what you once put down and to crown yourself. Thank you.